Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Beware the Board, a horror podcast where we watch a randomly selected horror movie every single week. I'm Bob.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Heyo.
Are you excited?
I'm tired, but, I guess I'm excited. I don't know. I built this season. It's got some rough points. Like, some real rough points, so we'll see.
It won't be that bad, right? Like, last week, I had a good time.
There's some high points in this season. I'll be honest. I didn't pick absolute garbage on purpose. However, there is also some low points. And I would like to apologize for that because we did get the killer food category. And that's where a lot of the low points are centralized.
There's no way that's all the low points. Like, there's got to be some really rough trauma movies on here. I hope.
I know, but like, if we were doing a comparison, if we were like averaging everything out, it would kind of look like, like a valley between two hills.
Oh, so like an upside down parabola.
Yeah.
Probably made no sense to most people.
The dead center at the lowest point, that's killer food.
Yeah. Anyway, before we get to the movie and the podcast part of the podcast, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No.
I have something I want to talk about.
I know, you were doing notes in my car.
Not even that. This is actually something totally separate, actually. The notes have nothing to do with this. My friend Troy has been watching Severance on Apple TV, and he was like, you should watch it. It's really good. Like, I think you would really like it as someone who likes horror like type movies and stuff like that. Man, he was right. Holy shit. It is so fucking good. As someone who like enjoys slashers and like gore and stuff like that, in horror in that aspect, Severance is a very different kind of horror. It's like weird, trippy, psychological horror. But man, it is so fucking good. I don't want to spoil anything about the show. The whole second season is out. You can watch it. I highly recommend you go and watch the show. It is incredible. I really don't want to tell anyone anything about it, because it feels like it ruins the experience. But like, Adam Scott is in it, and he's incredible. There's a bunch of really good people. I cannot say more good things about this show. The end of the first season, I've never reacted to a piece of media like that before. Like, something would happen, I was in my house screaming. Like, actually yelling at my TV. It's that good, Ben. I'm not joking. It is incredible.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. It's always good when you find, like, a good show.
Oh, it's so good. And it's on Apple TV, so, like, they were coming out weekly, so they're all, like, an hour.
Yeah, but then you have to have Apple TV, which is its own issue.
So, I will admit, Troy gave me his. So, I'm getting it for free. I'm cheating, yeah.
Jacques.
But if you have an iPhone, actually, I think they give it to you for, like, you can get, like, a free month or something. Or, like, a free, there's, like, a trial you can get with an iPhone. I'm saying I highly recommend it. It's incredible television. I think you should watch it. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I'm not paying for Apple TV.
We'll figure it out. But that's my first piece of media, shilling Severance to you, because it's just so good. My next piece of news is actually horror movie related. In remaster and remake news, two films I've never even heard of are getting a 4K restoration to premiere on Film Movement Plus and Prime Video. The first being a Spanish-Cuban zombie comedy from 2011 called Juan of the Dead, in which Havana has been overrun by the undead and Juan, a local slacker, and his friend Lorenzo start a zombie eradication business. That sounds really, really fun. I was looking at the article. Once again, I stole this information from Bloody Disgusting.
Shocker.
If you're interested. But yeah, this looks actually very Shaun of the Dead-esque, which I think is kind of the point.
I think that's literally the point.
It is the point, but like, it looks funny. From what the reviews are good, the trailer looked funny. This one looks good. And it's coming out in 4K on Prime Video and through Film Movement Plus. So check it out if you're interested. The next one is another Spanish horror film called Killer Barbies, in which a group of kids get stranded in a horrifying hilltop castle and are victims of an immortal sex-crazed inhabitant. However, the unfortunate guests are members of a gore punk band called the Killer Barbies and maybe more than the owner expected. This also sounds really fun. Both of these sound very much like B-movie-esque, but very, very fun films. So they're getting 4K restorations, so check them out if you're interested.
Always cool to see that stuff, though.
Yeah, of course. Especially for movies I've never heard of. That's sweet. I love that kind of stuff. It's cool. But I think that's my last piece of news for this week, Benjamin.
Oh boy. Okay, let's get into it. So last week you chose our first movie of this season, which was Nukem High.
Yeah, Class of Nukem High.
Which that was in the trauma spot. So we have two other spots. Our random was Killer Food, which I would like to apologize for once again. I think it's very funny.
Why are you apologizing? You did it. This is your fault.
Yeah, but like...
Commit. Don't feel bad for doing something.
So I feel bad now that I filled out the categories. So yeah, we have Killer Food, and then mine is, of course,
Full Moon.
Full Moon, because Bob made me.
I didn't make you do anything. I pitched the first one, and you said I have to.
Yeah, because we agreed 3 years ago. And anyways, the way our podcast format works, if you're new, is that each category has 3 different spots. Bob chooses one. He doesn't know what any spot is. So there's 9 spots for him to choose from. And then we watch whatever movies come up there. So Bob usually has a tendency to choose a different category every week.
Yeah, well, because, variance and making things fun and interesting.
It's almost like a systematic thing for him.
No, there's no system.
He really needs
There's
to
no
do it
system. It's quite random, actually,
specific
which is
order.
the point of the board. I will be choosing Full Moon this week because I don't want to watch Killer Food. I'm sorry. You've hyped it, like, you've lowered the bar on that one so low that I don't want to pick it yet. I want to wait because I'm not in the mood to watch a really, 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 really bad movie right now.
Hear me out. This could be the season where you finally do all 3 of one category last.
I'm not saving Killer Food for 3 bad episodes in a row. There's no way I'd do that to anyone. Not even myself.
I was going to say, you might do it to yourself.
Nope. But I'm choosing Full Moon.
Okay.
I have all 3 spots, right?
Yes.
1. What's in spot number 1, Ben?
Spot number 1?
Oh, God.
Well, this works out well.
Oh, God.
It's technically a Killer Food movie.
No, what?
We are watching The Gingerdead Man from
Oh my
2005.
God. Okay, this
thought
is
you could escape.
Technically Killer Food. I did think I could escape Gary Busey. I did think that was possible, yes.
If you don't know, Gary Busey's in this movie.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very iconic, actually.
Iconic as hell. Anyways, description. Run as fast as you can. I can catch you. I'm the Gingerdead Man.
Okay, but I don't know why, but that was good. I like that one a lot. That made me giggle.
It's the Gingerbread Man, Ryan.
I know, but I didn't expect you to lean into it so hard. It was
tried.
good. The commitment is what got me.
Length, it's an hour and 10 minutes long.
Nice!
So it's at least shorter. It's not rated.
Oh, thank God.
Review scores. IMDb gave it a 3.4 out of 10.
Okay.
There's no tomato score.
Nice.
There is an audience score of 28%. And
Looking
then no meta stuff.
Nice. God.
So looking great.
Oh, God. This season's going to be the end of me, Ben.
I'll be honest, though. I've seen this movie. It's the best of the Gingerdead Man movies,
Okay.
I would say.
I didn't know where you were going to... You said the best, and I said, what is he going to say after that?
Because Gary Busey does not come back.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of the weird things with this season. You've seen a lot of trauma films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you've seen a lot
I've not seen a lot of full moon
films.
pictures, yeah.
I've seen a lot of full moon film, but not as many trauma stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then the Killer Food just sucks.
I've seen most of those. Anyways, for notable actors, we have Gary Busey as Millard Findlemeyer.
What a name.
I know. He was Joshua in Lethal Weapon. Because if you didn't know this, Gary Busey
is a real actor.
Is a real actor. Robin Sidney as Sarah Leigh. She was Luann in Evil Bong 2, King Bong.
Oh, we haven't gotten there. Evil Bong.
Yeah, and actually they cross over with the Gingerdead Man franchise. So it's like a whole...
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole, some might say, cinematic universe. Ryan Luck as Amos Cadbury. He was the young Martin in American Gun. Alexia Ailman as Lorna Dean. They were Kathy in Close Call. Jonathan Chase as Brick Fields. He was Geek Leader in Gamer. Margaret Bly as Betty Leahy. She was Lorna in The Italian Job. Daniela Melgoza as Julia. She was Princess Elizabeth of York in Richard III.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Newell Alexander as James Leahy, who was Tex, the voice in Flushed Away. Do you remember Flushed Away? I believe it's Aardman animation.
Is it? Okay, I thought so.
It looks like it, but it's
It's the one about the mouse that gets flushed down the toilet, right? Into the sewer
he's
city?
technically a rat.
Is he a rat? I don't remember.
There's the sewer city, and then there's the frogs.
Yep. Yeah, I watched the movie as a kid.
And then the bad guy's a toad, I believe, and not a frog.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
There's a French frog, which I feel like is a racism thing.
It has to be.
Because it is made by the Brits. But, probably my least favorite of the Aardman films.
Oh, probably.
But not horrible.
No, not bad.
James Snyder as Jeremy Leigh. They were Malcolm and She's the Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I have not.
Do you know what it's about?
Nope, no idea.
Really?
Never even heard of it, actually.
It's an old movie from 2006.
An old movie from 2006 is criminal, Ben. That was 19 years ago.
Yeah, 19 years ago.
That's not that long ago.
You're only saying that because you're 24.
Shut up.
And you don't want to feel super old. 19 years.
I come here to have fun and enjoy myself on the podcast. I don't need you
19
causing me an
years.
existential crisis over
Bob,
the age of a film.
A kid could have graduated
No.
from high school in that time.
That's why I wish I had a gun on the podcast.
Oh,
And
don't
shoot
say
Ben
that.
on mic.
Anyways,
A Nerf gun.
Stars Amanda Bynes. I don't know if you remember her.
I do remember her.
See, now you're really old. The
I
Amanda
used
Show.
to watch the Amanda Show when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, really old. Anyways, she dresses up as a man.
Okay.
I think joins a soccer team.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how it works.
That's the whole premise of the movie?
Well, I think there's a whole thing where she's in love with one of the players,
Oh my god.
but like she's a dude, but she's not a dude. Spoilers for She's the Man. I'm pretty sure the conclusion for that film is she goes, "I'm a girl," and then no one believes her, so she lifts her top and shows her breasts.
Nice. Incredible filmmaking.
I don't think you actually get to see it, but like, I think that's the right movie. Anyways, She's the Man. Pretty famous, actually. Then we have Larry Cedar as Jimmy Dean. He was Cornelius Hawthorne from Community.
I've not seen Community?
Oh my god. So this doesn't make sense for you.
No.
He was on 2 episodes between 2011 and 2012.
We've talked about Community a lot on the podcast, but I've never actually sat down and watched Community.
Okay, so first of all, you should sit down and watch Community.
I've heard it's really good.
It's really good. The first season is a little rough because they were still trying to be like a standard sitcom. And then the last season is also pretty rough. But like the in-between seasons are really good. Because at that point they understood that they were kind of just like a story of the week type show. So each episode, they tackle essentially a different genre of film. So they have the paintball episodes I think are the really famous ones, where it's like action film where everyone's shooting at each other.
Mm-hmm.
They have the D&D episodes where they all play D&D.
I've heard those are interesting.
And what are some other good ones? I think they have one episode where they're all puppets.
Whoa, that's wicked.
There's a ton of stuff. It's really well done. But one of the characters is played by Chevy Chase.
Oh, I know who this is.
Pierce.
Yep.
And funny things for that show, apparently Chevy Chase is really hard to get along with.
Yeah, apparently he sucks.
And they base Pierce on kind of like how he acted on set, which Pierce is the worst. And this guy, Cornelius Hawthorne, is Pierce's dad.
Oh my god.
And is like 10 times worse than Pierce.
Oh,
he's like
no.
the old Southern racist. I think he's in a wheelchair. He's bald, so he has an ivory wig.
What?
Made out of solid ivory, because it's pure white.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's wicked.
Yeah. So, pretty wild for me, going, oh my god, that guy's in this movie.
That is weird.
Because he does a really good job playing the character.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very out there character. Anyways, would recommend. It's very good. Director for this film is, do you have any guesses?
Did Charles Band direct this film?
He did.
Nice.
Not that surprising.
No.
He also directed Trancers in 1984. I don't know if you've ever heard about that one.
I have not.
It's also a pretty famous full moon one. It has a bunch of sequels.
Okay.
Pretty standard. For writers, we have William Butler. They are going by Sylvia St. Croix. They also wrote Return of the Living Dead Necropolis.
Oh, shit.
And I also think Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave.
That's cool.
So the 2 Return films we haven't seen are written by the same guy who helped write The Gingerdead Man.
That's awesome.
So hopefully that gets you pumped up or maybe scared.
No, it
When we
actually
cover
makes
that
me
later.
excited. Because I know they're probably not going to be good, but at least I know they might be fun.
And I will say, Rave to the Grave is still the coolest name for a sequel ever.
It's really good.
Really good. Then we got our other writer, who is Dominic Meir, and he's going by August White. Have you heard his name before?
I don't think so.
You definitely have, because he's the guy who did the story and screenplay for Critters.
Oh,
Like,
that's
he's
really
the actual,
cool.
like, creator guy who came up with the concept and everything. So those are our 2 writers on this, which are shockingly
Fairly decent writers, I would think.
fairly decent writers and at least genre people.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, both of them are using
Fake names.
pseudonyms,
Yeah.
because that's a common thing you're going to see in these low budget communities, as people don't want their name actually associated with projects.
Yeah.
It's less common nowadays because the internet exists and it's harder to like hide yourself like that anymore.
No, that makes sense.
But I thought I should mention that because I was doing all the notes and so many people have pseudonyms this season. Like they're everywhere. For budget, it's unknown.
Nice.
Shocker. There's no box office because this was direct to video. Might be a shocker to you.
I'm not shocked at all, actually.
Country of origin, United States. Tagline.
Oh, God.
Ready for this one?
Oh, Lord.
Evil never tasted so good.
Wait, are people going to eat the Gingerdead Man? Is that part of the concept? Does he get eaten and then... Oh, God. What is this movie? I don't know anything about this movie other than it's a killer gingerbread man that's voiced by Gary Busey. That's all I know.
I think that is associated with the fact that he's just a cookie.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm hoping.
Good.
Is that he's just a cookie. Because I don't know if I can handle a little cookie man climbing out of someone's tummy. That might fuck me up, actually.
That'd probably fuck you up. Not just maybe.
It would definitely fuck me up, yeah. I don't think I'd eat cookies for like a while.
For like a solid hour.
Maybe a day or two.
I have cookies downstairs. If I offered you one.
What kind of cookies? That matters.
See. All right, production facts and stuff. Production of this film originally dates back to 2001.
Holy shit.
Which is 4 years before this film released.
It's a long time.
Apparently, it was originally slated to release summer 2001.
Why would they do that? It's a Gingerbread Man movie.
What do you mean?
They release it in the summer. It's like a Christmas movie.
No.
But it's more Christmassy than like any other slasher I could think of.
I mean, yeah, but that only matters when you're doing stuff in theaters.
Oh,
this
so
is
true.
Direct to video.
They're just doing whatever. So
yeah.
True.
So doesn't matter when it comes out. So yeah, it was slated for summer 2001, and the original script was written by Butler and intended to feature a CGI killer. Apparently resembled the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Interesting.
Instead of like a gingerbread man. Long story short, some weird stuff happened with production. They ended up rewriting the script with, rewrites by August White. And the new script is the one we're working with now. And obviously has pretty heavily changed stuff in it, including the design of the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool fact. Apparently, I couldn't find it, but you can actually see like the original trailer where they had the CGI design.
That's cool.
But I could not find it. I just heard apparently that exists. So, because it's a trailer from 2001, and it's a full moon trailer. I don't know where you would find that.
Truly lost media.
Honestly. But, the new killer design was achieved with both hand and rod puppets, because it is all practical effects. Which I think is the cool part about Full Moon, is they make some bad movies, obviously, but they do great on the practical effects side. Like, really, really great. Killer Toys, Puppet Master, just great practical effects series. But on top of, like, the puppets, they also had a full bodysuit in certain scenes.
Whoa, interesting.
So they could have someone running around in a
I'm curious how that's going to look.
Well, you just do it on miniature sets and stuff
that,
if you need it to be small.
Well, I'm just thinking of, like, how good it looked in Child's Play, and I'm wondering if, like, we're going to get to that same level, or it's going to look really cheesy.
I mean, it's a man in a gingerbread suit.
I've done it.
I know. It was very cheesy. In either case, all the props were created by John Carl Buechler. You remember that guy's name?
The name is familiar, but I don't remember what he did.
It is. So he has done a couple things on the podcast. He's a special effects guy, so we don't know everything he's done off the top of his head. But I think there's 2 projects you'd recognize him from.
Okay.
The first is he actually directed one of the Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, shit.
Part 7.
Oh, 7's pretty okay.
The New Blood.
I like that one.
That is the Carrie one.
Yep.
Which...
Do you mean legally distinct telekinetic
I'm
teenager?
sorry, yeah. Legally distinct telekinetic teenager versus Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really good one. It's the one where I remember watching it, we were like, okay, you can tell this is done by a special effects guy.
Yeah, because they do some... I mean, that's the one where they drop a porch on him.
Yeah.
And all the lightning with the, like, cables and shit.
And he almost died.
Yeah. That one's good. I like that one.
So, same guy who directed that. However, that's probably not how you know him in your brain. You actually know him for acting, because he does act in a couple things. Generally smaller roles, but, if you're in the business long enough, that does happen. The role you'd know him for is a little guy by the name of Jack Cracker from the Hatchet franchise.
No way this is Jack Cracker from the fucking Hatchet franchise.
So he designed all the special effects for the Gingerdead Man.
This guy's been around, huh?
No, he's really cool.
He is really cool. He's done a lot of shit.
Rest in peace.
Oh, God. Jack Cracker.
Poor Jack Cracker.
Drinking his own piss.
Getting strangled with his own intestines.
Happens to the best of us.
So, I don't know how much this cost, right? I couldn't find a very accurate, estimate.
Yeah, sure.
But I do know that a lot of the budget went to Busey.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
So, apparently, Charles Band offered Busey the role kind of as a joke. Like, he just assumed he was going to turn it down because, obviously.
Yeah.
And so he just made, a random offer. I think it was $25,000 to star in this film. And then he accepted, and he was like, fuck. Now we have to spend $25,000 of the budget on Gary Busey, which I think is what has helped this film succeed. So long term, that's really great. But I imagine some of those changes in the script might have been
budgetary reasons
due to Gary Busey, signing on.
Yeah. Well, especially making a CGI movie like that in the early 2000s was probably so expensive.
Yeah, I could totally imagine them trying to attempt techniques because they have historically been a practical effects company.
Yeah.
In either case, kind of the biggest thing to note with this franchise is that, it probably wasn't intended to be super big.
No.
But with all Full Moon stuff, if it does well, they're going to make a bajillion sequels. And I think right about now, it's kind of considered one of the staples of Full Moon.
Mm-hmm.
People think Full Moon, and one of the first films you think about is The Gingerdead Man.
So it's one of the only films I knew about before I knew what Full Moon was.
Yeah, it's very famous. And like we said earlier, it has crossovers. Evil Bong, I think, is the really big one. I don't know if it does crossovers with any of the other big franchises like Killer Toys.
I would think that Puppet Master might.
I don't think it crosses over with Puppet Master, but I know Evil Bong is the big one. It has its own crossover franchise.
Nice.
So that's a bit weird. But the thing I want to mention here is that, on top of that, there's comic books and a number of different merchandise pieces for this series, including a full head mask from Trick or Treat Studios.
Weren't they selling full masks at the booth we went to at the convention, the Full Moon booth? They had full masks. They definitely had the Castle Freak mask, which I almost bought.
I don't remember I think they had face masks.
Yeah.
These are a full mask, Bob.
I see.
A head mask, not a COVID face mask kind of thing. Anyways, that's all I got. So, guess we're going to go watch this movie now.
Yeah. Very, very untimely. We're nowhere near Christmas right now.
It's not a Christmas movie, Bob.
It is. He's a gingerbread man.
You know what? Fine. That means we're watching Die Hard for Christmas.
We're not watching Die Hard for Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie. It's set on Christmas. There's gingerbread.
Okay.
There's Santa.
No, stop. So we say Santa?
Santa.
Santa. Okay, we're gonna watch the movie before I lose my motherfucking marbles. Hi everybody, welcome back. We just finished watching The Gingerdead Man.
Yeah, what you think, Bob?
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Right?
But I wouldn't say it's a good movie.
No.
But
for a film about a killer gingerbread man,
it's much better than it should be.
It's pretty good. Honestly, right off the bat, I'll say it kind of falls into the same category of Thanksgiving for me.
Yeah, but this is better than Thanksgiving.
No, it's much better. I don't like Thanksgiving.
No, I don't either.
But I mean in the sense that, it feels very similar with, the puppet and everything, and it's making one-liners. But this one has an actual writing team and budget behind it.
That's the big thing is, I'm sure this was a low-budget film.
I think I made the joke to Bob that they had $30,000 and they spent $25,000 on
Gary Busey.
Busey.
But they did do a lot with what they had, I think.
Yeah.
And it shows.
It shows, and it's definitely the best out of the Gingerdead movies, I think.
Yeah, that makes me sad, because,
that's subjective. They get more off the rails as time goes by.
Fair.
As sequel spinoffs do. So it depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
Some of the Killer Bong, Gingerdead Man ones are decent, at least. Some of them are really bad.
To be expected, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll do our usual spiel here. As always, we recommend you go watch it before we spoil anything, because that's the best way to watch these films, especially when we're talking about films that aren't super great. I think a lot of the fun comes from the initial watch and the shock value and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, highly recommend you go watch this film before we talk about it. But I'm going to give a brief synopsis of the film, and then we're going to get into actual, spoiler territory. So, you've been warned. Now, the premise behind this film is actually a lot more complicated than I think most people would assume going in.
Oh, 100%.
Essentially, the movie is about a woman who survives a shooting at a diner, and I think it's 2 years later, the guy who shot up the diner, who has now been put to death, comes back for revenge as a
killer gingerbread man cookie.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that sounds interesting. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's on the box.
It is.
They deliver what it is, with Gary Busey on the side.
Which honestly is probably like one of the better parts of the movie.
Yeah. With that being said, let's get into it. So, right off the bat, is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, I think we should start with the cold open. Because you mentioned it during the movie. Much better than it needs to be. Actually, quite good, in fact.
I would say the cold open is probably the best part of the movie. I would argue.
Probably, yeah.
It's not the most fun, but like for shooting and suspense-wise, it's all really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
So the cold open is the part with the shooting at the diner, and it opens straight up with a woman being shot by Gary Busey.
Immediately.
And I think we see his gun go off, and then we just get to see
her body like flop onto the counter.
With a big like hole in her head.
And she's like bleeding everywhere. It's sweet.
So there's people dead in the background. And kind of the whole thing is Gary Busey's clearly unhinged. And we get to see him slowly like play with and kill our main character's family. Her dad, who looks ancient. Like he looks like he was young in the 50s.
Yeah. And
her older brother, who she has a weird relationship with. We'll get into that
later.
Maybe. But yeah, it's just this real cool way. Because like, not only is it a suspenseful moment because we don't know what's going to happen to these characters yet. We don't know
who our main characters
who
are.
The main character is. But we also get to see like Gary Busey really like show his acting chops. Because this is the only part of the movie that Gary Busey's human for.
Yeah.
And I think he really sells it.
No, and I think the fact that this portion is so good and he feels so insane, it makes the portions with the actual gingerbread puppet feel more real because it really feels like this person has truly been taken from a human form to the gingerbread form. And if we don't get to see that, I think the gingerbread form loses a lot of impact.
Yeah, because the gingerbread form is obviously goofy, and the jokes that are made obviously don't help. But we know it works because we know this character is scary and a little bit
unhinged.
But yeah, I think it's a great cold open, and it's kind of sad that it's very different than the rest of the movie because the rest of the movie is more par for the course, I think, for a killer insert object here kind of film.
Yeah, totally fair.
It's all set in one location, and it's specifically at, I think, a real bakery that assumedly someone just knew the owner of, and they were like, yeah, you can film here at night. But yeah, it's all shot on location, and it's just a pretty standard kind of film.
Yeah.
So it is shocking to see that cold open. I think we watched it, and I go, it really makes you think this is a real movie.
100%. Not that this isn't a real movie, but you can tell that it was very cheap because I would say the gingerbread man portion of the films are actually pretty sparing. Like they do more than I thought they would, but it is not the whole movie. A lot of the movie is the characters in the bakery trying to figure shit out and like investigating stuff. And that portion is kind of boring, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interpersonal drama to kind of carry stuff over.
Yeah.
But it's not amazing. I will say that I think they do a really good job giving each individual character some interesting traits.
100%.
For the most part, all the characters that we get a good amount of screen time for were decent and well fleshed out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the exploration of the whole bakery while there's a killer gingerbread man, it's not very exciting.
I just, more my point is, I wish that the portions without the gingerbread man were stronger because it would make his impact more. Like, not that the non-gingerbread man portions are like boring, but they're sort of fine, I guess. Like a lot of it is just them trying to like be emotional with these characters and give us backstory and information. But honestly, I don't care because I'm here for the Gingerdead Man.
That's fair, but I think it gives the film a better sense of realism that makes the Gingerdead Man stuff hit better.
That's fair.
Because the characters act like they're real people. I'm going to bring it back to Thanksgiving because, again, that's also essentially a puppet movie, except with a turkey instead of a cookie. And with that one, the characters don't act like real people.
No, they are criminal.
Like when the turkey isn't on screen. Lots of like jokes for the audience or just really weird stuff. And I think the difference is very important. And even though I didn't necessarily care about all the interpersonal stuff, it, I think, made the film better. I think it was a good decision.
No, I mean, I agree. I think it was a good decision. I just wish that it was more pronounced and fleshed out because I think it would help a lot more.
I mean, that's completely fair.
But I will say, just the fact that it exists at all is like a bonus because in a lot of movies like this, that stuff just wouldn't happen. Like it would just cut to like more stuff of the Gingerbread Man. Like it would be more filler, I guess, feeling stuff, but this doesn't feel like filler. This feels very intentional and like it's driving the story forward in a certain way.
Yeah, and if I'm going to be honest, my favorite part of all that is actually that it allows us to focus on the human characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, with movies like this, you usually overly focus on the killer to the point where our other characters are just bodies, our killer has a personality, and that's it. But in this one, like I said, we get some good characterization, and it really shows in the fact that a lot of the characters have some really fun lines.
100%.
The two I'm going to point out here are Amos, who's kind of like a punk dude, but Southern, and also maybe from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It was a little bit odd. I don't know where exactly they are. And then...
well, they're in New York.
Maybe.
Well, they mentioned Hell's Kitchen.
No, Brick says he's from Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
He could just have moved. And then, obviously, the other one's Brick, who we just brought up, who is a wrestling fanatic and is by far my favorite character in this movie.
He's good. I like him.
But they all just have some really fun lines. Brick's going to be the one I obviously refer to, but he keeps bringing up wrestling stuff.
He loves wrestling.
Like he calls himself the Butcher Baker. Or he's like talking to the main character, what's her name? Sarah?
No one ever says her name.
Yeah, that's fair. I think they say it once or twice, but he's talking to the main character, Sarah, who's having like an emotional breakdown, which I'll say the actor's selling pretty well. That actor has a good emotional range. One point, she's so freaked out, she like peeks out the mics with a high-pitched squeak, and it's funny.
But it matches.
I thought it was realistic. And he's like, yeah, sometimes when you hit the mat, you gotta get right back up again.
And it's just, it feels so absurd that he has to be a real person. Like, no, you can't write that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it feels too specific of a type of person to not be real. And that helps a lot.
And that's how a lot of the characters felt. Even though they were stereotypes, they felt real because they had enough quirkiness and enough
nuance. Like, they felt like there was some real thought that went into all these characters.
And that's cool.
It is cool in a movie like this, where normally you don't even get that. Normally, a character goes, "Hi, my name's John," and then they fucking die.
So, great little switch up there. Moving on from that, we got the Gingerdead Man.
Yeah.
He is interesting. So, the big thing I want to note here is they paid Gary Busey a lot to be in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I assume 90% of that was for the cold open.
Yeah.
He does not have a lot of lines as the Gingerdead Man, which kind of sucks.
It does suck.
Like, there's a bunch of points in this film where I'm, like, expecting a joke to be, and he doesn't say anything, or it's just, like, a repeated chuckle that we heard earlier. And I do think that's a real downer.
100%.
For this movie, because they got Gary Busey, and it's super cool. And I think he does sell it, but we just don't get a lot from him after the cold open.
Yeah, I wish we got more, but I think probably expensive to have him shoot more voiceover lines and stuff, and that's probably why they didn't include it.
Oh, yeah. I assume it was all expense-based reasons. But yeah, I think that was a really disappointing fact, because it really did feel like they had 5 minutes in the recording studio, and they did one take, and they got good takes, and I do like most of his lines.
Some of the jokes he makes as the Gingerdead Man are incredibly funny.
Like, it's not the fucking Pillsbury Doughboy, is I think his first line when he comes back.
Yeah.
Which is straight up, remember Jack Frost?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like line for line, the same thing. And I don't know, that's what I expect, and I do like to see it. As for his puppet design, it's
okay.
Okay.
It's
honestly.
not awful.
For a cheap puppet, I'd say it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just a rod puppet. So it's basically a gingerbread man that's made out of, like, I don't know. It
Probably
looks like
rubber.
a latex or rubber skin, and then they fill it with cotton. And then there's just a rod that you can use to kind of move the head and mouth. You know, it doesn't have a lot of movement to it, so most of what they do is just, like, close-ups on the face. But, you know, for a shitty little film like this, I thought it looked okay.
No, it looks pretty good. I think they do a good job at making sure that the The voiceover lines are matched up with the mouth in a good way, because in some movies they'll have that and it won't match at all, and it's like, this is very off-putting.
Yeah, but in this one they match pretty well, and then I think the design's pretty nice.
I do also like the design.
They didn't go with like a standard gingerbread man. They went with like a weird humanoid thing, and his face is all gross, and I think it's a nice little touch.
He has like little teeth in his mouth, and they just, ugh.
But, besides like the rod puppet stuff, they also have a couple shots where it's very clearly like an actual puppet.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought those look great because they doing some real cool stuff with it.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite is at one point he's driving a car.
Yeah, that shit is really sick.
And they've basically attached one of the legs to a rolling pin that they're using to do the gas, and then the other hand's doing
everything else.
And it's just really creative. Like, I don't
it is cool.
expect a movie like this when they have a rod puppet as their main puppet and they're doing close-ups all the time to have actual like gags that show the puppet doing real things. And in this one they did.
No, I do. And I love that part. It's so cool because I think that's really exemplified by an aspect that I didn't really consider coming into the movie. But this guy is a psychopath. He is crazy, and he is a small cookie now. But he's still a guy, and he can still like plan and plot stuff. And I think that's exemplified by the fact that at some point he sets booby traps. He sets up full-blown traps that kill people in this film.
Well, we only see one of them.
Well, true.
Assumedly there's more.
But like, that's something that is interesting. Like, I just didn't expect it. I expected much more of a non-methodical sort of just run around kill people thing. But the fact that he sets traps makes him scarier and like shows a sort of a method to this whole thing. And I think that that's really an interesting thing that they didn't need to do, but adds a lot to the character.
Yeah, the one I'll really point out is he's specifically picking off people one by one and using that as psychological torture for the people in the bakery, which is pretty cool.
It is cool. It adds layers and depth to a film that, at its surface, should not have that.
Yeah, because you expect most of it to be the little cookie holding a gun and blasting everywhere randomly.
Which happens,
but it's not all that. It's cool to see.
I do want to talk about the end a little bit. I don't know how much we want to spoil it.
It feels abrupt.
It does feel abrupt, but I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those films where I'm like, I don't know how you end this. And I feel like that's what happened in the writing room. They're like,
how do we kill this cookie?
What now? What I'll say without spoiling it too much is it's essentially a double fake out ending. Mm-hmm. They kill the cookie once, and then they kill it again a second time when it comes back. And if I'm being honest, it feels a little lackluster.
But I do like the way they get rid of the cookie the second time because it feels thematic.
Yes, and I do like the way it comes back the second time as well.
Also thematic as fuck. And super cool. And also foreshadowed by something earlier in the movie. Like the reveal that he's back is something that we'd already seen before. So it felt well written and well composed in that way.
Yeah, it's just, it feels really truncated. Like he dies, and then we have maybe 2 minutes
of like wrap up.
He dies again.
Yeah.
And then there's a brief closing like sequel bait thing. And that's it. I don't know. It's one of those endings where I'm like, this movie isn't amazing, but I think it's, for what it is, it's solid. But this ending just kind of feels like a whimper.
Yeah. It feels almost like they had a different ending and they probably cut this one together at the last minute or something like that.
Yeah, you can tell there's a lot of weird script rewriting stuff. Like,
yeah,
there's a bunch of jokes where it's very obvious they were written for when it looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Stuff like that. Or like there'll be certain transitions where they'll mention information that the characters shouldn't know. So I can't blame them too much. I assume some of it comes down to the fact that they were limited to one location.
Yeah, but also I'm sure the edit is also where it came down weird because it was like they had so much footage to cut through and everything,
or they just shot everything once. Yeah. With that being said, I think the last thing I want to mention is some of the practical effects.
Yep, that was the last thing I want to talk about too.
Sometimes they look good. Sometimes they don't.
It really just depends
on what it is. I think the gore effects in the cold open look the best.
Really good.
Once again, I think that's where they spent a lot of the money for this film because they knew that Gary Busey was going to be in it. There's a couple gore effects later the film usually tries to avoid, stuff like that. Honestly, throughout the rest of the film, it's mostly just like practical blood covering stuff.
Yeah, that's the big one.
I think the most egregious is one of the characters gets their finger chopped off.
The fake finger looks pretty bad.
Well, I was going to say it's very clear the actor's like rolling the finger up. Like in the last shot of the movie, that character survives. Spoilers. And you can clearly see them standing there with their finger rolled up on camera.
So, yeah, you can't see it.
Now, obviously, this comes down to the fact that this was never supposed to be seen in...
No, 4K or whatever the fuck.
Blu-ray. I think it's 180p. It
Still.
was made for DVD in, like, 2005.
Which is like 480.
Yeah. So, while it's not great, I think it surprisingly...
It is surprisingly good.
Better than I expected it to be.
Agreed.
Anyways, that's all I really got about this film. We ended it, and I said to Bob, that felt short because
it's
not
an hour
much
and
happens
10 minutes
with credits. But yeah, it's not a lot. With that being said, I guess recommendations.
Sure. If you like Full Moon or interested in stuff that Charles Band has directed and produced, this is one of them. This is one of the more famous ones. Like, this is one that I'd heard about before I knew about Full Moon. And you know what? It's pretty decent. It feels a lot more like a film than I thought it was going to. So, if the idea of not undead, I guess he is undead technically. Interesting. If the idea of a killer gingerbread man interests you in any way, I don't know if there's any other film that does it, but this one's cool. It's decent. I don't hate it. It takes the idea of like a small killer creature and it does it pretty effectively. Last thing, if you like Gary Busey, I think Gary Busey is probably the highlight of this movie for me in most ways. Like, he's such a good performance. I like his voice. He delivers a lot of the one-liners in a better way than he probably needed to.
He at least tried.
Yes, that's what I'll say. That's it.
Okay. For me, I think the really big one is, Bob mentioned, this is a Full Moon movie. And I think this is a decent introduction to some of the more so bad it's good films in the Full Moon catalog. Because let me be honest, there's some really good films that come out of Full Moon. Reanimator, we watched, that's great.
Yeah, Castle Freak was pretty okay.
Castle Freak's pretty decent. Like, Full Moon makes some very good pictures, but some of them aren't as good. And Gingerdead Man's a very good example of that. It's very famous for being like a cheesy franchise that you watch for fun. They have a couple of those. Obviously, Killer Bong's the other big one. So if you're interested in that part of their catalog, I think this is a great place to start. It's not too bad. Pretty okay. Anyways, rate it.
So I'm at a weird spot here. I enjoy this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to, but that does not make it a good movie. But it does raise my rating a little bit. I feel like they could have leaned into the Gingerbread Man a little harder in this movie, and I think that would have helped it. Because I will say, my big issue is a lot of that downtime is boring and like slow, and it just doesn't feel...
I'll give you a disclaimer though. Bob has trouble understanding people without subtitles, and this disc didn't come with subtitles, so I'm not sure how much of the boredom was actually what it was versus you couldn't understand them because they were mumbling. Because they did mumble a lot.
They did. It was rough. But I guess more my point is like, I came into this movie wanting more of the Gingerdead Man. Or I came out of this movie wanting more than I got. Because, like, when I watch this movie, I'm watching it for that. You know what I mean? Like, coming in with those expectations, I just want more oomph behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess it's better than the opposite. I mean...
Which is almost nothing.
Remember coming out of, like, Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
When it was too much?
When it was too... I guess my point is, like, I just want a little more while maintaining the same level. Like, if this had been a normal length movie, let's say like an hour and 20 minutes, and we got an extra, or an hour and 30 minutes, I'm sorry, and I got an extra 20 minutes of Gingerbread Man stuff, I think I'd be more likely to give this a higher score. Because I think that's what carries the film and makes it interesting. Because, like, all of the other stuff is fine, but the Gingerdead Man stuff is, I would say, excellent in a lot of ways.
I was going to say excellent's a strong word.
More entertaining.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think I'm going to give it a 2.5. Because I like it. I don't hate it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm kind of in an interesting boat with this one because I don't think it's a great movie.
Fair.
Both from like a technical aspect and a entertainment aspect. But as far as like killer food movies go or like small killer puppet films, it's pretty okay. Like shockingly okay. And so I think it's one of those things where I'm going to say, for the subgenre it's trying to be, I would give it a higher rating.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But as an actual film and like overall, I'm going to go with, I think, a 2.
Fair.
Just because of a bunch of issues that I think are underlying. And then just some of the weird continuity stuff and maybe some performance stuff. I mean, the performances are good, but I just mentioned it. some of those scenes, you cannot understand what they're saying.
No, it's
'Cause they're,
really
like,
hard.
mumbling to each other. Makes sense, like, acting-wise, but it's just hard to understand them. So yeah, I think a 2's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was expecting to come out of this, like, mad, honestly.
Yeah, as far as, like, Gingerdead movies go, like gingerbread films, which I'm not sure how many of them there are, but, like, Killer Cookie films, I'd give it at least a 3.
Oh, yeah. It's fine.
Definitely fine. Anyways, I guess we're going to go to the outtakes. I don't really think we're going to have any.
I marked some stuff. We'll see.
But we'll be back in a second.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a minute. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the outtakes. Do we have any announcements, Ben?
No. Nothing
Okay.
to announce here, except for the fact we're still working on Evil Dead.
Nothing to announce, but actually...
Well, it's not a new announcement,
Criminal.
but we're still doing the Evil Dead stuff.
Yeah.
As of recording this, I believe we are recording the last one, Evil Dead Rise,
next week,
unless something happens. So I don't know when those are eventually going to come out.
but they are being recorded.
And so at this point, hopefully, by the time this episode comes out, you can just start complaining to Bob for how long they take, because it's all up to how fast he edits all of them.
You know, I already have the first 2 done.
I mean, that's fair.
They're just sitting at home. I haven't touched them.
I mean, that's 2 out of 3, so
Yeah.
pretty good. Aside from that, check us out wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other podcast-specific platforms. If you're checking us out on any of those, please give us a quick rating or review. That really helps us out with getting traction on those sites. However, if you want to be a real G, you can wrestle your friends into
Wrestling your friends.
watching this.
What does the G stand for? Gingerdead Man?
I don't know, maybe. A real ginger.
A real... No.
No?
No.
Do you not like...
I love ginger. Ginger ale.
I was going to say, do you not like the ginger community?
No, my friend Wyatt has red hair. It's fine. I don't care.
Anyways, you can also check us out on YouTube, which is pretty cool for us because you can give us likes and subscriptions, and it's really great for us to see your guys' support because we eat that up. Nom nom nom.
Not the nom nom. That was despicable.
That being said, YouTube does have a couple cool tools which might make it worth checking out. There is a bell button, which I know is on other platforms like Spotify, but that lets you get notified whenever we post something new. In case you're wondering if we're posting an episode out of schedule, or maybe we're late with it for some reason. It's a good way to find out. But the big thing with YouTube is it has a little search button on our channel page, which lets you search key terms in all our videos. So if you want to see if we've covered a specific movie, that's a really good way. Figure it out. That being said, biggest thing with YouTube is it's one of the 2 major places to communicate with us at. You can do that in the comment section of a specific video if there's something you want to talk to us about in that episode. Or you can go over to Twitter at BewareTheBoard and go chat up Bob. Maybe invite him to a wrestling thing like WrestlePalooza. He might actually want to go if you offer him a free ticket. Make it a little date.
Well, no. Sorry, I have to decline if it's a date, bro. I have a girlfriend.
Get all bricked up.
Not bricked up. That's diabolical, Benjamin. You can't say that. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm very tired. There's a lot wrong with me.
Like Ben said, you can check us out on Twitter at BewareTheBoard. It's where we post updates about the show, information about the show. Basically, if there's anything you want about the show, it goes on our Twitter. On Mondays, I post a spoiler post for that week's worth of episodes so you can reveal it, so you can watch the film before we do. So, if these episodes, you don't get spoilers or being vague about stuff you know what we're talking about. Then on Fridays or whatever other day an episode goes live, I always post a link to the episode whenever it goes up. So if you miss an upload, one on something up, there's always a link on our Twitter. Last thing, we do short form content over on at BewareTheBoard on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and on Instagram. So if you like short form content and want to support the show, check us out over there at BewareTheBoard on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. Ben, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.